Hello and welcome back to the Good Times Kitchen, and I am Chef Steph, your host. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you very much for viewing, and I hope you subscribe. I realize now that I have not been saying that properly in all of my videos, but we learn things here at the Good Times Kitchen, and I have now learned how to say subscribe. So what I'm gonna do for you tonight is I'm making a recipe, and this is how I make macaroni and cheese. It's pretty simple, but it's really tasty, and you can make a lot, and then you can freeze it in little bags, throw it in your freezer for your kids or yourself. It's perfect for lunches. You just rip open the bag, either throw it in a pot or throw it in the microwave, and you or your kid or whoever has a warm lunch, and you just individually freeze them in little bags, and it's perfect, and it freezes really well. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take about 2 or 3 cups of macaroni. That's the type of pasta you wanna use, and you're gonna boil it. And what do you do first? You bring your water to a rapid boil. You boil the pasta. I've already pre-made the macaroni, so I'm not gonna sit here and talk while you guys watch me make macaroni. But hey, why not? There's another video on how to do that with spaghetti. Same thing with macaroni. 2 to 3 cups, fill your water all the way up, right? If you put 2 cups of pasta in, you're probably gonna put 4 cups of water. 5 cups maybe, even 6. Just fill it up. Make sure the pasta's really well covered. Bring that water to a boil first though. You can throw some salt in there if you want. Throw your pasta in. Cook it for 8 minutes. Then you're gonna take it out. You let it sit. But when you take it out, I always rinse it with really cold water first. Like, freeze that macaroni, because that will stop it from cooking. Because you don't want it to keep cooking and expand and then get all gooey, because macaroni can fall apart really easily. So as I'm rambling away here, you can call me Ramblin' Rose too, but I go by Chef Steph. So we're gonna turn up our stove, and what's my favorite temperature? Medium low. But we're not doing that today. We're gonna actually stick it to medium high, because we want that to get nice and hot. And what we're gonna do first is we are going to take a pat of butter. As we know, these are my pats of butter. Put about a tablespoon of butter. Stick that in there, right? And then you're going to take a tablespoon of flour, okay? About that much. Tablespoon, not a teaspoon, tablespoon. And you're gonna put that in there. And then we're gonna stick this over on our stove, even though it's not quite hot enough yet. I'm in Canada, so it gets really cold here. Yeah, maybe I'll go on this side so you can see better. There's something burning on the stove. I don't know what that is. Maybe, oh, no, it's something on the bottom of the pot. Haha, don't mind me. I can't see. You can see I don't have my toque on today. Can't see any hairs in my face. Like, Hopefully I'm not getting hair in the food though. But again, this is gonna be me and my daughter who's eating this, who's really patiently waiting. I'm actually a little tired. Can you tell? I sound a little tired. Do I sound enthusiastic? Am I enthusiastic enough for this cooking show? Okay, so now you're gonna get your macaroni, and the flour is all gonna melt, okay? We're just sitting here waiting for the flour to melt. I'll bring it over here and I'll show you. Okay, so we're melting that butter and that flour well. And we're browning it, okay? Stir it up. I'm using the wrong thing. What, you don't wanna use a spoon, not yet. I always whip my whisk a little bit, just in case there's water stuck in it. I need new everything. Oh my goodness. But you know what? You don't need to have fancy tools to be a good cook. You don't. I mean, I wouldn't recommend whisking with your fingers like that, because that's gonna get hot. But invest in a whisk, okay? So you need a whisk. You need one. So you're gonna whip that all up. You don't want it sitting on the pan, okay, burning. We don't want it to burn. We want it to brown nicely. We just wanted that to melt and bubble. So now we're gonna go over here, and now we're gonna turn down our heat. And as you can see, something is, a piece of macaroni stuck in there from when I cooked the macaroni. Okay, so this is what I do when I have things that have slipped down and I'm cooking. I can't get them out. I just take a little bit of water like this, and then go. Yeah, that will stop it from smoking. Easy breezy. So you want your butter bubbling. You can see that's nicely bubbling, but not burning. So we take it off the heat a little bit. Now you take a bay leaf, okay? Open up your bay leaves. La la la, I run out of those. Oh, that guy's jumping out. So I'm gonna take two bay leaves, okay? Don't break them up. Keep them as they are. You don't want to break them up because you are going to take them out after. And you're going to brown those bay leaves in your butter nicely. Nice and gentle, okay? Because again, you don't want it to burn. Sorry, I'm not like, oh, look at my circles. Hi, nice circle. That's my O-light or my O-ring. So then we're going to have that in there. Nice aroma. Put that back on the stove for a little bit. And you're going to turn that down again. Then you're going to take on a plate or in your pot, but I'm going to show it on a plate here. I'm going to take some smoked paprika with, sorry, you can't see here. Smoked paprika. There's all different kinds of paprika. You can get smoked paprika, regular paprika, sweet paprika. I don't know, it's probably all kinds. So what I'm gonna do is take a nice level teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon. Check your butter. Oh, that nice foam. You can smell the bay leaf starting to release its aroma in there. Okay, so, but again, you're not overcooking that. See how it's not brown or it's not getting dark. It's just nicely browning. So I'm going to take that off the heat for a second there while I prepare my seasonings for you. So we have, what's this? What do we have here? This is called a teaspoon of smoked. You don't have to use smoked paprika. You can use whatever paprika you want. You don't even have to use paprika. But this is what I put in my pasta. And this is my daughter. Frickin' loves this macaroni. And she likes it best when I cook it this way. And I kind of learned this a bit. I used to live in the Caribbean in Antigua. And I learned how to make proper macaroni bake, right? Macaroni and cheese bake. But that was a little different than what I'm making today. Then I'm going to take some thyme. Okay, like that. They use thyme in their macaroni down south. Oh, do they ever? They like their thyme. Trinidadians really like their thyme especially. And I like, no offense, Antigua or to the other islands, but Trinidad's got some good food coming out of there. And again, we're going to take a half a teaspoon of salt. And don't forget, a little bit over that left shoulder, right? Because we don't want those elves coming and taking our food in the middle of the night. Not when we spend all this time cooking together, right? Right? Good times, friends. Good times kitchen. But I don't mind. The elves, you know, fairies, they want a little bite here and there. Come on in. You're more than welcome. Always. Then we're going to take again a teaspoon, half a teaspoon. Yeah, maybe a teaspoon. Mustard powder. And then the end, we're going to take some granular garlic, not real garlic. You can use real garlic, but you have to be really careful that you don't overcook it. Same with the garlic. So I'm just going to go a little bit, don't want to go overpowering. Put a little bit of that in. And then our final piece de resistance. We'll put a little bit of ground pepper in there, right? Ooh. And we're going to put in about that much, right? So that's our nice mixed seasonings here. Mix those all up. You don't really have to. You can do that in the pan. So then we're going to bring our pot again over here, right? And we're going to dump that all in. And we're gonna stir that up nicely. And it's gonna become looking like a little bit of a paste there. Right, you see that? Mmm. Oh, it smells good. It smells really, really good. Okay, so then we're gonna put that back on our heat while that's cooking on low. And I forgot to do this, of course. I always forget something. And what did I forget? The cheese. Of course, I forgot the cheese. So then we're gonna take some cheese. I like to use old cheddar. Like I said before, I find it has the most flavor to it. It goes the furthest. Oh, my favorite knife. I don't know, some of you people remember that photograph from way, way back. So we're gonna take a chunk of cheese, okay? And probably, I would say, nice cup and a half, which is usually about that much cheese. Okay, so let's get our nice plate here. Well, we have to check. We have to check on our herbs that they're not burning. Nope, they're just cooking nicely. They smell delicious here. Oh yeah, just let them cook a bit more. You know, they're doing a great job doing their thing over there. Herbs and spices don't complain much, just as long as you're not burning them. Keep them at a pace they really like, which is usually a medium-low heat. And they'll just give you all the flavor you really want. They work well that way. They like you. So then we're gonna grate the cheese. Speedy. Sorry, I didn't do this. I was gonna have it prepared. Grate it on the big graters. Yeah, almost done here. And this is gonna give us about a cup of cheese, okay? I can hear those herbs over there are starting to crackle a little bit. It's a sign that I should probably give them a check here. So as I keep grating, make sure you don't grate your fingers or your skin, right? You don't want to do that. Oh, it's gross. Okay, so there we go. We have our nice hefty cup, right? Nice hefty cup of cheese there. Ta-da! See if you look, nice little mountain cheese. Oh, it sounds like the thyme is crackling up. Yeah, nice bubble in there, but not burning. And actually, it's not my spices that are crackling. It's that damn piece of macaroni that's in there. That's doing the crackling. Okay, so we've got this like this. Then I've got a cup of milk here, right? So we'll cool it down so it doesn't curdle. And we're gonna add just a little bit there, and you'll see it gets more like a paste, right? Because the flour we added in there. Cook that all off. Oh yeah, it smells delicious. Add a little bit more. Okay, there we go. And now it's starting to get a bit more creamy, so mix that all up. So it makes almost like a creamy gravy. Right? Oh, it's still a little thick. Still a little thick. So that's why I don't add the full cup all at once, because you may not need all that much milk, right? So I'm going to add a little bit more, like so. And then we're going to mix that all up again, okay? We'll just keep mixing that. Make sure you scrape your sides, right? That's why the whisk is good. Keeps everything blending. You don't want anything stuck to the bottom. Oh, yeah. That's looking delicious, right? I wish you guys could smell that. It smells really, really good. Okay, so now it's a nice velvety, it's like creamy, velvety looking. Then we're gonna dump all our cheese in there. And this is when you start switching up from the whisk. Boop, put all that in nicely. I like to stop using the whisk at this point, because I find the whisk gets all stuck in there. So we're going to say goodbye to that. And then we're going to take a nice wooden spoon. And we're going to mix that all in really well, in with our sauce. Okay, we're going to take that. And then we're going to put it back on the stove for a bit. We're going to sit there and keep stirring it as the cheese starts to melt. Okay? So you really want to watch that. You don't want to burn, but again, it's on the low heat. you don't have to worry about that. As long as you keep, a lot of cooking has to do with the temperature that you have on your stove. And you don't need a fancy gas stove or a high-end electric stove. You can use whatever. You just have to learn, right? And it's better, less is best, because you can always add a bit more, and then you don't risk burning things, you don't risk curdling things, and you can slowly add the heat if you feel you need more heat. And then also listen. Actually, speaking of heat, I have my little candle here. Lovely. It keeps me warm on these nice winter nights, because we've got snow on the ground right now. Oh yeah. It snowed the last couple of days and it stayed. But it's supposed to get warm tomorrow, so maybe it'll all be gone. But anyways, we go back here and look at how beautiful now. See how that cheese is all nicely blending up? So you want to make sure, oh, I can smell the cheese. You want to make sure that is really smooth, right? Nice and smooth, all melted. All the cheese is nicely melted, and that looks pretty good. So if you want, you can have your, if you like really thick, like if you're like a cheesy Velveeta, you remember that Velveeta stuff you could buy? It was so thick and creamy compared to like the cheapo Kraft Dinner. If you were poor, you got the Kraft Dinner, but if you're like more of a wealthy family, you got the Velveeta shells, right? Yeah, we didn't get either very often. We got this stuff, but this stuff is better anyways. So you keep mixing that up, okay? And that's looking pretty good. I might add just a little bit more milk, just a bit more, touch more, okay? So I'm gonna mix that all in, and then I'm gonna put it back on the stove again. Let's see, maybe I'll give it a little taste once I mixed all this up, just to make sure, you know. Okay, I'm like a scenester kid today with my bag. You only get to see half my face. Yo, guys, so like, it's just a cool cooking show, right? And, you know, I hope you can tell what I'm making, right? I'm just kidding. Little, I can't even say that word, can I? So there, I'm gonna put that back on, because you can see that it's starting to cool, so it's starting to separate, right? A bit. The cheese needs a bit more cooking in there. So I put that back on just for a little bit. Here, stir that up. Let's see what it tastes like, guys. Give it a little taste test. Don't want to burn myself. See how cheesy that is? Oh yeah. She's gonna love that. No, it doesn't need anything else. It's perfect. And just remember, this is granular garlic, not garlic salt, okay? Because you're already putting your salt in here. And everything else is just delicious. And I think that is perfect, actually. So I just want to make sure this is nice and warm. Oh, yeah. So I'm seeing this steam all coming up, and now it's turning back to its nice velouté. The velouté sauce, I don't know if that's how you say it or not. It's supposed to be actually on this side, so you can see better and see me. Chef Steph, thank you very much for coming and watching my show. I really appreciate it. I love that you're sharing the recipes and that you're commenting and enjoying them. That really warms my heart. That's very cool, actually. And you're gonna love this one too. This is really good. So now that you have this nice velvety sauce, you can see the steam is all coming out and nothing's curdled. Then you're gonna take your, whoa, I almost dropped that all over me and the floor. That would not be cool. No. So we're gonna make some space over here. Like my nice hot light there. And so I've got a whole bunch of macaroni. This is not all necessarily for this specific recipe. I just take my hands, whatever. So you're gonna, nah, that's not gonna work. Take a scoop. So you take your 3 cups of cooked spaghetti that you have, and it's gonna be actually almost a full pot is what you're gonna want of spaghetti. Maybe I should move that. over so you can see what I'm doing here. So you're gonna take your spaghetti. Remember, we've sprayed it with the cold water. So this is not, your pasta's not gonna be piping hot. So that's why you wanna make sure your sauce is hot. So you're gonna put that back in. And the amount of sauce we made should be good for a nice medium-sized pot of pasta, right? So let's take that and mix it all up really well. Oh, you can see the cheese in it. Getting all nice and cheesy. Lots of flavor. Mix that all up. Doesn't that sound good? You can tell all the good sound of macaroni. Now, if you really wanted to get super fancy, you could put this back in the oven and then cover it, right? With shredded cheese. And that would be phenomenal. That would be really good. Oh, this is so cheesy. You can see it mixing all up. You want to really get it in there. I might even be able to use a little bit more milk in here. That's really good. So I'm going to put a little bit more milk in there to smooth it up a bit more. And then I'm going to warm it up. Just a little bit more. Because it's cooled down a bit with the pasta. So we're going to put that back on the stove for a little bit there. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. And then you go like this. Take that out of the way, right? And then you can take a nice bowl like this. And you can even get some shredded cheese on the side if you want. Like this will get our plate over here. You can't see what I'm doing. You can see the shadow, right? See, can you tell? Can you tell from the shadow what I'm doing? I'm just shredding a little bit of cheese over here. Just a bit to sprinkle on the top. Okay. Another nice lovely bowl. And then this is warming up over here. Oh yeah, look at how cheesy that is. You can see it's like spreading gooey cheese. And that's not even mozzarella. If you really want cheese, just getting that back inside with potty mouth. Hello, this is Chef Steph's Good Times Kitchen, potty mouth kitchen. I just swear and throwing the F-bombs around. Don't let your children watch you cook the macaroni with the potty scenester over here from the 2000s. All right, so we're warming that up. You'll be able to tell when it's warming up because the cheese will start just getting all really gooey. I wonder if they're using mozzarella cheese in the old cheese nowadays, because in the fort, in the sharp cheddar, the old cheddar. Because looks like mozzarella almost, the way it's separating. Mozzarella really gets stringy and gooey. It does, it does. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're budget cutting on our cheese and cutting the cheese with mozzarella when it's supposed to be cheddar. Just like if you look at olive oil. Have you heard about that, my friends, my Good Times friends? Olive oil. In Canada, and I also believe in the States, they did tests on it. And the majority of the olive oils actually aren't full olive oil at all. Even the high-grade ones. So research it. Almost. I'm just going to turn that up a little quicker because this is taking a long time. So we can speed things up because I want you to see the cheese when it melts. And plus I'm giving this straight to my kiddo. So I wanted to have some hot food. So yeah, there you go. If you had made your pasta a little sooner than I had, you wouldn't have to really warm it back up again. But on the other hand, this really gets the cheese cooked into the pasta more. It gets the flavors in more. And I prefer doing it this way, to be honest. I always do it this way. So how do you like that back view, eh? Do you like my back view? Got my track pants on here. I'm all dressed up for you guys today. You got my little kitchen slippers on. This is, can you see how good shape I'm in? This is what we do here. This is Mom in the kitchen, like I said. And Mama. Okay. This is really cheesy and gooey, guys. Like, look at get this crap bowl out of the way so you can see what I'm cooking here. Look at the gooey cheese. Look, you can see all that gooey goodness. Oh yeah, that's good. It's a good stuff. It's a good stuff in the Good Times kitchen. Oh, my muscles, well, holy shit. So then you're gonna scoop some out like that. La la la, look at how lovely that looks. La la la. And then you're going to make sure that there are no bay leaves in it, because you can't eat bay leaves. They're just for flavor. Supposedly they're poisonous if you eat them. Actually, I don't know if that's 100% true. That's just what I read, or somebody told me when I was a kid, don't eat the bay leaves. So I like to make sure my kid doesn't have any little bay leaf pieces in there. Nope. So that's perfect. And then I'm gonna take my cheese, almost sprinkle it on the top. And then I'm gonna throw it in the microwave for an extra, no, I'm just kidding, I'm not throwing it in the freaking microwave for an extra minute. But you could. You could if you want. We finally got one. I actually own my first microwave. Yeah. First time in my life, mid-century. Midlife. I was not born in 1950. But anyways, I'm going to steal a bite of her food. That's really good. That is really delicious. Homemade mac and cheese. From my Good Times kitchen to yours. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy this recipe. And again, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And please subscribe if you aren't. It really, like I said, it really helps get me in the algorithm, boosts the channel, and it brings more people. We get a bigger community going. We can share little tips and tidbits and just cook our little hearts out, right? Because we all love to eat. And I just love to share the love of eating and food. All right. So I'm going to sign off now, and I hope you all having a lovely evening. And tomorrow night, maybe you'll have some macaroni and cheese. Yum.